Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing our show. Ladies and gentlemen, President William Samoei Ruto has formed penchant of lecturing Kenyans. He keeps on telling us that he's got a plan for this country and that he has decided to make very hard decisions that will transform this country. No matter what you say, no matter what you think, it is either his way or the highway. But everything has got a lifespan because Ruto lectures have come to an end. Today, Ruto lectured us, and it is very sad that he's comparing himself or comparing Kenya to Singapore, and he believes he can change Kenya to the level of Singapore. But I will show you in this video that the lifespan of lies and lectures and threats has come to an end. And I will show you why. First of all, listen to William Ruto. Before you do that, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. Please like and share this video even as we watch.
People want simplicity, you know. They do not, they even don't believe in numbers. But friends, numbers are very stubborn. Truth is very stubborn. You can say all the lies you want, but the truth will not change. Our inflation was at 9.6 in 2022. Today is 3.8. Fact. Our dollar had gone to 165. Today it is 130 and coming down. Fact. Our foreign exchange reserves was $7 billion in 2022. Today it is $10.8 billion. Fact. You can say whatever you want to say, but facts are stubborn. The IMF a month ago said Kenya's economy is now the 6th largest economy in Africa. It is a fact. It's not a rumor. It's not propaganda. I have had to make very difficult decisions to get us here. And I have no regret whatsoever.
Now, as William Ruto went on giving us lectures of what he has done and what he believes the IMF has said, he said something that I like, that facts are stubborn. And if there is one fact that is stubborn, we want to go all the way to Bungoma, where 3 years ago William Ruto launched some road and promised that it will be complete. 3 years down the line, the very stubborn fact is revealing that that was a fiasco. That was just a campaign mechanism, just like any other regions where he launches projects, uses a lot of money, convoys are there, he makes, some wonderful speeches, but then when he scrutinizes, nothing has been done. Kindly watch as the residents of Bungoma are telling William Ruto, stop your lectures. We need this road. It has not been done 3 months, 3 years down the line.
Wafanyabiashara katika soko la Kapsokonyi eneo la Mount Elgon wameandamana wakimtaka Rais Ruto kutimiza ahadi yake ya kujenga barabara ya Kimilili kuelekea Kapsokonyi, wakisema barabara hiyo kwa sasa ni mbaya. Wakazi hao waliteketeza magurudumu barabarani na kutatiza shughuli za usafiri. Wanasisitiza kuwa ni takriban miaka 3 sasa tangu rais ahidi kujenga barabara hiyo.
Rais wakati alikuja hapa akatu address hapa Kapsokony na akatuambia in the next 2 months hii barabara itakuwa imeundwa. Hadi saa hizi barabara haijaundwa na saa hizi miaka 3.5 imeisha. So mimi nataka kuomba rais wetu, juzi kuna watu wamechomeka hapa Kibuk, familia moja watoto 4 wakachomeka hadi wakakuwa ashes, na wakati wazima moto walikuja walichukua almost 2 hours ndio.
So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to connect what is happening in Bungoma, because it happened today, to the president's speeches today. I want you to compare the speeches of William Ruto today, the way he blew his own trumpet, telling us of facts that are stubborn, and what is happening in Bungoma. If the president was real, things, the demonstration that was in Bungoma would have not been witnessed. And I'm sure if we were given an opportunity, if every region would be given an opportunity to showcase what the president has done, you will realize that there are very many projects that President Ruto launched in many areas and they have not taken off. And the reason why this is happening is something that has become a disorder. I have a feeling that William Ruto believes that Kenya is his. He's suffering for what I call, I'm not a medic, but I learned that there's something called megalomania. It is a condition or a disorder that makes you believe that you are everything. You are more important than what you are. Without you, things cannot happen. And he believes that if he decides today, he will build a church in State House, and there's nothing you can do about it. If he wakes up today, he wants to subject your cows to vaccination. And if you don't want, you are either stupid or mad. I mean, President Ruto believes that he's making hard decisions. But what are these hard decisions? Gathoni Wamushomba says that his main problem is that he doesn't listen to us. He wants to do things unilaterally, as if he owns Kenya. Kindly take a look.
You're giving Marianne a lot of airtime. Okay. When she's telling us that the president comes to our counties to listen to us, whereas she's very much aware that the president comes to lecture us. He came to my constituency in 9 helicopters. 9. To come and lecture one woman called Gathoni Wamushomba for saying no to finance bill. He actually pocketed in front of everybody, pocketed on the podium, and saying, we nani, uwezi tuambia manene ya affordable housing nani na we uko na mortgage, wewe, lecturing us. Is that what you're calling listening? Traveling in 9 helicopters to come and deal with one parliamentarian just because you have exercised your parliamentarian rights.
So ideally he uses one. Who was in those other 8?
The entourage. What is talking about those who protect him?
Kiambu.
Yeah.
You know where Githunguri is?
I know where it is. 12
minutes drive when traffic is clear from CBD. 12 minutes. 9 helicopters. That is what you're telling us, austerity measures? That is what you're telling us he's coming to listen to us? To listen to what? When did you hear President saying, I have come? And now he's quiet, waiting to hear what that young man is going to say, that old woman is going to say. He normally stands there in his pockets and says, to heshimiane. Nani, to heshimiane. Nani, munanielewa. You know, that kind of language is what you're telling us is listening?
Sam,
I need a cup of tea.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the president must give us a break. How I wish he would go back quietly and start working the way Kibaki did. Kibaki never grabbed. People would always feel like today the prices of petrol or fuel has gone up. Yet we have a problem. We have a president that is telling us that he wants to stabilize the economy. You see, when you tell Kenyans that I don't need to stabilize the dollar and all that, mama mboga ambaye ako kule chini pale nyumbani, what is that to him? We want tangible things that can be felt to know that economy is growing. Now, when we go back to what he talks of, and he says that facts are stubborn, and he believes that he will be elected because of those facts. Ladies and gentlemen, we can also tell him that it is a fact because that prices of fuel have gone up, and it is a fact. We can tell him that today a 12-year-old girl was buried after her last breath was taken by a cruel police officer who pulled the trigger and killed her. It is a fact. We can also tell the president that today, just yesterday, a daughter of a chief was detained in a police cell and died in the police custody. She was buried yesterday, and the father has been gagged from talking about it because he has to choose between his job and the lifeless daughter that has been buried. It is a fact. We can tell the president that Albert Ojwang just recently was buried after dying in a police custody. It is a fact. We can remind the president that he ordered the police to shoot people. When a president goes on a warning spree, every time the president talks, he's on the defensive side. We have a president who is telling us that he is unwanted and is suffering, is a victim of maybe attempts of a coup. That is what he tells us, because he's a Kalenjin. He's weeping emotions instead of getting to work. I told you that everything has got a lifespan. That is why today, the man who stood before people telling them that he will grow an economy that is conducive to the hustlers can no longer talk of the hustler narrative. Do you think William Ruto can stand proudly today and say that I have built a hustler narrative? He's lost that narrative because it can no longer work. He's now a dynasty. Why? It is a fact that he told Kenyans that he will think of the hustlers. But look at his cabinet. It is a fact that that cabinet is full of people who have been recycled. Others have been governors before. Others have been cabinet secretaries before. So before the president lectures us about his facts from the IMF, he should understand that we are also saddened and we can lecture him on the same. I don't know what you think, but when I look at the president, I agree with Gathoni Mushomba that our president atasimama hapo na awasomee. Yeye anajua kila kitu. Kenya ni yake. Your opinion doesn't matter. Akitaka kupeleka polisi Hague, atapeleka kwa sababu he's there to make hard decisions that will transform Kenya. I mean, akitaka kuwapeleka not Hague but Haiti, atawapeleka. You know? At the last time I checked, this is a democratic government. A government of the people, by the people, for the people. Sometimes you need to bring all the stakeholders on board. By the way, you might think that I'm reading too much. Let me take you back to the year last year in June. Do you know the reason why Kenya banned? Do you know why Gen Zs stormed parliament? Do you know why most of them were killed, kidnapped, and maimed? It is because we had a president who believed that once he has decided that he's going to pass a finance bill, he takes all the parliamentarians who are not exercising their independent minds, rather are working for the executive, and they passed it by force. And that is how hell broke loose. Later, he himself admitted that indeed he'd made a mistake and he succumbed to the demands of the youths. Things took a new turn when he joined hands with Raila Amolo Odinga and was back to factory settings. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you make of President Ruto's pontification? Speaking big, speaking large, quoting economic terms, but when you look at the ground, things are different. I think one term is a rallying call that is real. If you see Bungoma rising up and that is the place where Wetangula is coming from, then you know it is real. We need a president who understands that he's there because of us. Or could it be that we never voted him in? Could it be that there were other means that propelled him to power so that our opinions don't matter? No wonder he quotes IMF, because those are the people who gave him the presidency. I don't know what you think, but I felt very bad that a president is lecturing us when he needs to sit down with his think tanks. By the way, is David D there? Is he still working? Anyway, that is my take.